The most important meal of the day, second breakfast.
Hi everybody. I'll tell you, I'm still excited about our jingle. I'm still excited about our jingle, right? I'm not over it yet.
I sort of feel like for the next year, every time we start the show, we're gonna be like, this is Matt.
It's true. That's true.
The
Ladies and gentlemen,
most important meal of the day.
the most important meal of the day,
Second breakfast.
And we are Second Breakfast. I am Andy Roth. My partner over there is Phil Duvall, and we are your source for all things movie.
We are your source for all things that are fun about movies.
That's true. That's true.
I will not be held responsible for boring crap about movies, but I will take a level of responsibility for entertaining you, the movie-going public, in a way that we hope is also enlightening and fun.
Indeed. Indeed. I certainly hope so.
Maybe a little angering.
Mm.
Can I set up today? Can I tell them what we're doing?
Please do.
Okay.
Leo.
Whatever you want, Leo gets. You get it?
Get it?
Get it?
You get it?
I found an article last week called "The 10 Most Overlooked" or "The 10 Best Overlooked Gems of the Year 1993 in Movies." Now, first of all, I loved the list. And secondly, because I'm the kind of person who takes pride in completely stupid victories, I was so proud of myself for having seen 8 of the 10 of them in the theater, which means that when I was 14, I knew how to roll. It's that simple.
Indeed.
It's that simple, people. And so one of those movies, 1993, was actually one of my favorite movies of all time, my top 5, which is called Searching for Bobby Fischer. And I got so excited that I ended up actually, depending on which day it came out, I actually think I watched Searching for Bobby Fischer. Like, didn't I tell you I watched it the day before that or something? Like,
I honestly don't remember. It was either the day of or the day before.
I had watched Searching for Bobby Fischer in the same week.
Yeah.
And so I watched it the day before that article came out, and I was just so excited that it was being mentioned. So anyways, then Andy and I were talking, and I was like, one of the very, very, very first podcasts we ever did was an episode where we talked about a movie called Mad Dog and Glory.
Yeah.
Which is a very overlooked movie. It's not a brilliant movie, but it's a very good movie, and it's got Robert De Niro and Bill Murray and Uma Thurman, and it's like, and David Caruso.
Indeed.
At his height, the height of his powers.
It's true.
And we were talking about the idea that, we have fun talking about movies, but we have fun talking about movies and getting people interested in movies that maybe they hadn't heard otherwise.
Yeah.
And we're generally not that artsy-fartsy about it. We actually like to do movies within our lifetime.
It's true.
Like what I mean is I'm not going to be like, there's a 3-hour silent film that you really ought to see if you are a responsible film goer. We're not interested in that.
The answer to that is you should see Birth of a Nation at some point, but you'll hate yourself and all of humanity.
Well, I was actually thinking of Intolerance when I said that.
Which is the other 3-hour, right. Which
that's
is the
a whole
mea culpa for the first movie.
So Andy and I thought it would be kind of cool if we did this little rundown. I said, pick a year. Pick a year, Andy. Now, there may come a time in the future where we just do an episode on an overlooked movie like we did with Mad Dog and Glory. And if you all are interested in that, Andy and I are very amenable to ideas. So if you guys go, hey, talk about one movie in depth. Well, come on. Okay.
Right.
But we decided we were going to just take a year at random from our lifetime and say, let's list movies from that year that were overlooked gems from that year.
Indeed.
And Andy picked the year
1990.
Oh crap, is that the year? I'm just kidding. I'm totally ready. And we decided to create some rules so that this doesn't become a 2-hour podcast, because anybody who listens to us knows that we could easily talk for 2 hours about the year 1990.
We could talk for yes. We could
talk about 2 hours about anything.
It's true. That's true. Here are the rules. We have each come up with a list of 10 movies. 5 of them are the ones we are choosing to speak about, and 5 are our honorable mention, which we will not say anything about other than the name. Nothing but the title. Nothing but the title. Very exciting times.
This was hard for me.
It was hard for me too. and we will just alternate. Yes.
Just not hard to come up with 10. Hard to narrow it down. 1990, people, was a fantastic year.
Agreed.
And there were movies that came out in 1990 that, I mean, The Hunt for Red October. I mean, I'm naming things now that were not overlooked, obviously. Hunt for Red October, Home Alone, the great Steven Seagal film Hard to Kill.
Yes.
Stephen Frears movie The Grifters, but bigger movies like Arachnophobia and Days of Thunder and Dick Tracy and Die Hard 2 and Edward Scissorhands. It's a killer year for movies, okay? But Andy and I are going to talk about the movies that maybe you hadn't heard of.
Interestingly, you have named at least a couple movies that are on one or the other of my list.
I apologize.
No, that's okay.
That was not my intention to ruin your list.
You have ruined nothing.
Also, okay, well then I'll stop talking because I just saw 2 other ones I should say, but I'll wait.
Fantastic.
Because what if you're just naming my list now, jerkface?
No, it's all good. It's all good. So the way we're going to do it is this. We're going to start. We're just going to alternate. We're going to go in alphabetical order. Well, I mean, within our own list. We don't know the other person's list. So
yes.
We will list. We will alternate listing our 5 movies in alphabetical order, and we will talk about each one of those movies for 2 minutes, and then we will move on. And
2 minutes.
That is it.
Do you have a timer ready?
I have a timer ready.
Also, Andy, what happens if you and I have the same movie on our list? Are we going to talk about it again for 2 minutes, or what do we do?
I think that's a free 2 minutes that we give back to the viewers of Second Breakfast, and they can go about their day 2 minutes early.
Not interested in that, but okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Second Breakfast Nation, remember who loves you. Okay.
Oh, it's Andy. I do not love you, people. I use you.
And are you going first? You go first.
I'll go first. I'll go first.
So your first movie, you have 2 minutes starting now.
It's a little film by the name of I Love You to Death. This is a Kevin Kline movie. It is genius. It's written and directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who did Silverado, for instance. Kevin Kline plays an Italian-American immigrant with a thick, amazing Italian accent and a thick, amazing Italian mustache. And he's a pizza place owner who cheats on his wife. Well, he does a bunch of different things. Like, he has a pizza place, but he does plumbing, and he does a landlord, and he does this. But he cheats on his wife recklessly, and his wife is Tracy Ullman. She knows that he cheats on her, even though he loves her and he has kids and everything. He's a bit of a cad, and his wife, played by Tracy Ullman, decides to have him killed. So she has these hapless hitmen try to murder him, but he manages to survive a bullet to the head and an overdose of sleeping pills. Survives. And after all this has happened, well, I won't tell you what happens, but it is amazing. It's got the ensemble to this movie. William Hurt, River Phoenix, playing these 2 stoner friends, Kevin Kline, Tracy Ullman, written and directed by Lawrence Kasdan. It is. I don't know why people don't know about this movie, but it is a classic. It's a classic that for some reason
I know of it, but I've never actually seen it.
I almost watched it last night because I decided to watch one of the movies on my list last night, and it wasn't that. Keanu Reeves is in it. Keanu Reeves and William Hurt play the Stoner brothers, and then River Phoenix is someone else in the movie. Nice. Joan Plowright is Tracy Ullman's mom. She's amazing.
Sure.
I'm good. I'm done. It's so good. I love it. It is a heartwarming tale, even though it's about a man who cheats. And I promise you, even if you hate cheating movies, which I do, you will love this movie no matter what. Andy?
Nice. Well done. And nicely self-contained. My first movie, which you already mentioned, because I think it is unfairly overlooked these days, starting the timer now. The Grifters.
I was worried when I said it. I shouldn't have said it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. This movie... First off, you know what genre we don't talk a lot about, Phil? Film noir, and that's for 2 reasons. One, I just think it's not as well known now, and this is 2 different things. It's not as well known now in terms of like the classic ones like like Double Indemnity and things like that, movies like that. But also, they're just not making them
Right.
much anymore. And this movie, the three main characters, the three grifters, if you will,
I will.
you should. Angelica Houston, who is marvelous, nominated for an Academy Award, I believe.
Yes.
John Cusack, marvelous, not nominated, could have been. He is amazing. And Annette Bening, also nominated for an Academy Award. Just an amazing, amazing cast. The fun to watch, dark, goes places that you absolutely would not believe a movie would go. Directed by Stephen Frears, produced by Martin Scorsese, and it has a lot of like lovely Scorsese touches, like the use of color to symbolize things in this movie is just amazing. But I don't want to like it is film geek digestible. Like you could dissect it, but you can also just watch it and have a freaking blast.
Yes.
Just loving the crap out of this movie.
Yes.
And the end, truly one of the most shocking endings. And I'm not spoiling anything by saying that.
Oh no, because there's no way you can expect it.
There's no way to expect it. Oh, and that's it. That's my first movie. You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Go.
Everybody's heard of this movie, and yet it is incredibly overlooked.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe versus the volcano. I don't care what you say. This movie is brilliant. It is. I liked this movie when I first saw it.
Sure.
I was a kid. I was 11, and I thought it was amazing, but it didn't get a lot of play. And then I remember when we were in college, our dear friend Jeremy called it the greatest movie ever made.
I remember this. Yes.
I used to. Do you remember the game that Jeremy and I used to play at the Blockbuster Video?
I don't.
DVDs had just come out.
I barely remember Blockbuster Video, so go ahead.
Okay, so DVDs had just come out, and there was like this weird thing of what was on DVD and what wasn't.
Right.
And we would walk through the aisles, and Jeremy would go, like, Jack Frost on DVD. Joe versus the Volcano, not on DVD. Pumpkinhead 4 on DVD. Joe versus the Volcano, not on DVD. And we would literally do that for, like, longer than should be accepted.
Yeah.
But
I remember this now. I do remember this game now. Yes.
it deserves it. It is one of the last, if not the last, Tom Hanks straight-up comedy roles.
Yeah.
Does it beautifully. It's another Tom Hanks Meg Ryan movie where Meg Ryan plays 3 different characters, but it works.
I'm a flibbertigibbet.
It's one of those movies that like gets made fun of, but actually, and the opening sequence with Dan Hedaya as his like boss and like yelling in the fluorescent lights. It's a memorable movie. It's a visually iconic movie. It's an absurdist film. It deserves all the love that it gets. It deserves all the love that it gets, or that I give it, and it deserves more than it gets. It deserves to get like. It needs to be brought up in this world.
It really is. It's wonderfully absurdist, and it's just a good time. It's a good time.
And it's an actual romantic. It's an actual romantic comedy.
Yes, and that's that. Then we're done there. So
Romantic comedy.
my next movie. Quite a jump in the alphabet here from the grifters to starting now. The movie Quick Change. This movie, I don't recall when I saw it first. It may have been because of you, Phil. I think it was around the time that we were in college. It is a heist comedy that 0.1% of the movie is about the actual heist. The rest of it is about the escape and the people escaping, the robbers. Bank robbery, right? It's a bank robbery, right?
Yes.
Bill Murray in one of my favorite performances of his.
Yes.
Gina Davis in one of my favorite performances of hers.
Yes.
And Randy Quaid in
one of your favorite performances of his.
There is something to be said for a movie that is is totally fine with complete madcap crazy humor, and also has the brain to go for a streetcar named Desire joke. The
Yes.
and it is I just, you think there's a lot of competition for that
It
corner?
made it.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
It made a joke. It makes a joke about the person who tries to. What is the person who tries to go on a raft? Get on a raft to Greenland.
Thor Heyerdahl?
Yeah, Thor. It makes a Thor Heyerdahl joke.
Yes. Yes. It
Um,
is and it has the cop who is chasing them is
Jason
Jason
Robards.
Robards, who is just so good.
Yep.
So good. It is especially lovely for people who have ever been lost in New York City, which it is actually quite easy to do, even though you're usually near a subway stop. It's pretty easy to get lost in places. Oh, see the movie. That's it. I'm done.
Just reset it for 2 minutes because I'm about to talk about Quick Change.
Go. Awesome. I love it.
I watched Quick Change again last night to prepare
Love
for
it.
this podcast, and it is 89 minutes. It is less than an hour and a half, and it is a perfect length.
Yeah.
It is what I've noticed this time around with Quick Change. And I'm not kidding. It's not a perfect movie by definition. It might not even be a great movie by definition, but this is true, and I mean it. Every single line is funny. Literally, not figure. Every single line is funny. Every single moment of Bill Murray it's perfect Bill Murray. It really is. It's the only movie he ever directed. He co-directed it with the guy that he co-wrote it with, Howard Franklin.
Yep.
Everything that I hate about New York is shown in this movie.
Yes.
This movie came out about 6 months before Steve Martin's Peon to Pean. How do you say it? Pine? Pean. How do you say that word?
It's
Peon.
P-A-E.
Whatever. How do you say it?
I think it's peon.
Peon, but that sounds like something else.
does.
To Los Angeles, LA Story. But it's like the bizarro version of LA Story because unlike these LA people who like living in LA and they're oblivious to their ridiculousness, this movie is about a guy who just hates New York and can't get out of it no matter what he does. And it manages in 89 minutes to show everything there is to hate about New York without being utterly evil. It's not like a mean movie, but it is a dark movie. And it's very funny. And
Peon.
Peon. Okay, thank you.
Close.
Peon to LA, but this is like a bizarro version because people who watch it will admire what it says about New York, but it has this. When I was watching it with my buddy last night, I was like, "This explains every reason. All the things I feel when I'm in New York City, this movie explains."
Yes.
There's a line where they're trying to find the expressway, and the guys are taking down the sign, and so they took down the sign for the expressway, and he's like, "Well, which way is it?" I'm like, "We don't know. We're not from around here." He says. I want to thank you, gentlemen. You could have helped us, but instead you gave us so much more.
No more bursting through the 2-minute barrier, jerk face. Okay, here we go.
I feel fine about that. Go ahead.
You should. My next movie, starting the timer now. It's a Western set in Australia.
I know what your next film is.
I know you do. Quigley Down Under. There are.
Oh, Andy.
Okay. Tom Selleck at the height of his Tom Selleckness.
Yes.
Alan Rickman playing the bad guy.
Can you just full stop there? Full stop. Right? Alan Rickman playing the bad guy, people.
We're done here. Laura San Giacomo playing someone who gets naked. I mean, that's not a bad thing, right? I was 13. No, I was 12.
That is a thing that
still
Laura San Giacomo doing anything.
Yes,
is something that defies age. Doesn't matter.
It's true. And here's what actually was so interesting to me about it. It is an action movie based around long distance shooting because Quigley is known as a rifle shooter. And he is a marksman from a long way away. And so that sort of the normal tropes of an action movie are sort of played with in that way. And the evil in this movie is it's Alan Rickman. He is actually evil.
I haven't seen this movie, and I haven't seen it since it came out on video. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I would love to see it again.
It is unbelievably satisfying. It is so satisfying. The in every way that an action movie can be satisfying. There's some political stuff with like the Aboriginal population, but it's mostly just about Tom Selleck shooting people from a really long way away.
Sure.
And it's just
I wish more things were about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So I mean, that's all I got. There we go.
You can download it's streaming on Netflix.
Solid tip. Pro tip. Thank you.
Okay.
2 minutes? No.
Everybody knows these people, but this is a movie that was not generally on their best whatever lists that people have. Yet it's one of my favorite movies of all time. A little picture by the name of Miller's Crossing. Miller's Crossing is a Coen Brothers movie.
Indeed.
And it is, in many ways for me, what's that word? The exemplary Coen Brothers movie. No, that's not the word, but that's a good word. I like it.
Thanks. I didn't make it up.
No, I know, but it's a good word. It is a good word, but it's not the one I was thinking of. But anyway, it is a movie that like it is one of their most. It's right on the border. They can make inaccessible movies like Barton Fink and A Serious Man,
Yes.
and this is right on the borderline of that because of the language, the stylistic version of the language, and the plot is so not convoluted, but like full.
Yeah, it's
there's
just
so
complex.
much.
There's a lot going on.
One of the few movies I will say that I had to watch several times to know what was actually happening.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter when I didn't know what was going on. It was still thoroughly enjoyable. It's an Irish mob film from Prohibition era Chicago. It's Irish versus Italian, but it's mainly based on the Irish. It's got one of some iconic scenes. Film geeks know this movie already. So if you're a film geek, you're like, yeah, Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know it. If you've never seen Miller's Crossing, it is a bona fide classic. Gabriel Byrne and Marcia Gay Harden are fantastic in it. Albert Finney, John Polito, Steve Buscemi. Sam Raimi's got a tiny little cameo and gets what he deserves. It is a lot of different people whose names I don't know, but you'll recognize them. A lot of that guys in this movie.
Yeah.
It is chock full of character actors, chock full of wonderful characters.
And you're done.
Miller's Crossing.
Agreed. My next movie, starting the timer now,
I'm going to have to guess what it
is definitively not a good movie. I want to be very, very clear on this. It is, I will go so far as to say this. It is a bad movie.
Oh, wow.
But.
And yet.
It is, Phil and I use this term a lot, and then this is the movie that I always think of when we use it. It is watchable. It is amazing. The movie is Taking Care of Business.
Oh, yes, Andy Roth.
With Jim Belushi and Charles Grodin.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Belushi plays a criminal who finds Charles Grodin's, who is an executive, his like day planner that has all of his information in it, and so he assumes... Filofax. Thank you. I thought Filofax, like, is that the right word? That's not the right word. Thank you. I appreciate it. And he assumes Charles Grodin's life. And it is outrageously absurd. I mean that specifically. It is not just absurd. It is absurd to an outrageous degree.
Yes.
It is such a blast to it. Ends with like a climax where they're like they use the Filofax as like a zip line.
Okay, you're gonna tell them. That's fine. Yeah, they zip line. They zip line. They zip line at a Cubs game, and the fact that it's a Cubs game doesn't even bother me because is it a Cubs game? Because they're in LA. It might. I mean, it still might be.
One of the characters is a Cubs fan. Let me put it that way.
Andy, I saw it in the movie theaters, and I still don't remember.
Yeah, me too. I have seen it several times since.
Yeah,
totally watchable.
Yeah.
Adorable love interests for both of the gentlemen in this movie.
Who wrote this film, Andy Roth?
I don't know.
J.J. Abrams wrote it.
JJ. Oh, that's right. That's right. J.J. Abrams. And
You're welcome.
that is the last thing we'll say about it. 2 minutes. Philip.
Hold on. I gotta find my list. How many more am I allowed to list? Okay, no problem. I guess this is my last one.
Should be your last one, yeah. Go.
My Blue Heaven.
Love it.
It's a Steve Martin movie that for some reason a ton of people don't know about, and it blows my mind. People, like, it is ridiculous. It is a very simple B movie comedy structure.
Mhm.
It's Steve Martin doing the most ridiculous New York mobster accent. It's got I mean, literally, it's he walks up to a girl. He walks up to a girl at the frozen food section of a grocery store, and he says, "You know, it's dangerous for you to be standing in the frozen food section." This is Steve Martin, by the way, with a black flat top. He's got a flat top, and she goes, "Why is that?" And he says, "'Cause you could melt all this stuff." At which point, the lady swoons, takes her items, throws them in his cart, and they walk off together. Next scene, they're married.
Love it.
It's so good. It's got a great cast: Joan Cusack and Rick Moranis. That the person I was just talking about was Carol Kane. It's a great bunch of people in it. It's about a mobster in witness protection who is from New York, and he's in witness protection in a suburb of San Diego, and he has no idea how to be as. If you think about the last line of Goodfellas, where he says, "I get to spend the rest of my life as a schnook,"
Yeah.
and like he's like, I ordered, you know, pasta and marinara, and they gave me egg noodles and ketchup. That basically is the premise. Although this movie came out the same year as Goodfellas, the greatest movie of the '90s, that movie is basically the premise, the setup for My Blue Heaven.
Yes.
It's so much fun. It's just fun.
Agreed. My final movie.
Please.
Starting the timer.
I know what it is.
My final movie is Tremors.
I was right.
You know me so well.
It's true.
So Tremors, guys, it is a science fiction horror comedy, heavily weighted towards the comedy, starring Fred Ward and
Yes.
Kevin Bacon as these
Yes.
two dumbbells living in this
Yes.
valley, and the aliens come down, and they're subterranean aliens, and they can feel the smallest tremor. So every time you step, they go for you, and when you see them, they're actually horrifying. It is a good monster design, creature design.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just absolutely. And it is also laugh out loud funny. It also has a bunch of that guys in it. You've got Reba McEntire, you've got Michael Gross,
Yes.
you've got Victor Wong, who played every wise Asian man that wasn't played by Pat Morita in this time period.
And also some evil Asian
Yes,
men.
yeah, yes, true, absolutely.
Fantastic.
The legitimately exciting action, interesting, like, how do we solve this problem setup, and it's extremely quotable. None of the quotes I'm thinking of I can say on a family podcast,
That's right.
but there is a scene where Reba McEntire and Michael Gross play gun nuts, and they take out one of these things on their own, and it is one of the funniest shooting scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Tremors is the only reason it wasn't on my list, Andy,
Yeah.
is because I knew for a fact it was going to be on your list. Like literally, I was like, I don't need to say anything about Tremors. Andy's got it covered.
Okay, it's time for our honorable mention.
5 movies each
Yep.
that we will not say anything about.
Yes. This caveat, I think I think you should just tell me your 5, and then
Okay.
I can say one thing about your list, and then I'll tell you my 5, and you can say one thing about my list.
Okay.
All right?
And I know at least one of the movies that's going to be on your list. I can see it right now.
Can't wait.
It's a sequel. Am I right?
Indeed.
Okay. House Party. Hold it. Hold till the end. Hold applause till the end. Kindergarten Cop. Metropolitan. Pump Up the Volume. The Witches.
An amazing list.
Thank you.
And Kindergarten Cop, in terms of favorite movies to watch, might be my favorite movie from that year to watch.
Yes. I want to say one thing about it. It's actually not overlooked in the sense that everyone's heard of it,
Right.
but it's a movie that people make fun of that actually a lot of people haven't seen,
Fair.
and it's a legitimately fun movie.
That is why the fact that it wasn't overlooked in sort of the normal sort of metrics is why I didn't put it on my list, but I thought long and hard about it, because you're right, people don't.
Yep.
This sounds weird about a Schwarzenegger movie called Kindergarten Cop, but I feel like people don't give it the respect that it is due as a fabulous movie.
Because it's called Kindergarten Cop and it's starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah,
Agreed.
completely.
Agreed. My honorable mention list. Arachnophobia.
Ugh.
Dark Man. Dreams, and just to say more about that, that is a movie by Akira Kurosawa. Gremlins 2, and this is out of order alphabetically, The Freshman.
The Freshman was the first movie I ever saw on Christmas Day.
Nice. Nice.
And it didn't
that.
make any sense to me when I saw it, and I didn't think it was very funny.
Right.
And then I saw it as an adult, and I was like, okay, all right.
Right.
Okay.
Why are these people laughing around me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic list. That's a fantastic list.
Did we only have one movie overlap? Quick change?
Yes.
Fascinating. I love it. Because I love your list.
Yeah, and I love your list.
Yeah.
And there's and there really are, like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. One thing, if there was one movie that everyone should see, no, I'm not even gonna do it. Never mind. It's just so many things.
Right, there's so many things. 1990, forgotten year overall in movies, but
The movie that made one of the movies that made my honorable mention, Pump Up the Volume. I won't say anything about it except to say that it was my official favorite movie for several years as a teenager.
love it.
It is a quintessential teenage movie. Pump Up the Volume. If you are a teenager, see Pump Up the Volume.
Indeed. If you're not a teenager, but you remember what it's like to be a teenager, see Pump Up the Volume.
It is. It's a movie that takes teenagers seriously,
Yes, I agree.
and I appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this podcast was just us screaming at the screen for 3 minutes per movie. See this movie, it's so good. I'm not sure. Maybe we should have had more dialogue. I don't know, but I hope just putting these movies out there in the world. If one person sees one of these movies, we have done good work.
We have, yes.
I am going to watch Quigley Down Under again soon.
Awesome. Me too. It's been years since I've seen it, but man.
What movie from my list are you going to see?
I Love You to Death.
Yes, that's
Because
a good
I
call.
know about it and I've never seen it.
It's lovely.
I'm very excited. It's going on my Netflix queue as soon as we sign off.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's sign off. Yeah?
I want to hear that jingle again.
You will. But before, let's tell them who we are. We are Second Breakfast. I'm Andy Roth alongside Phil Duvall. Have a great day. And this is our jingle. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The most important meal of the day, second breakfast.